Hi, this is Dan Collins coming to you live from Traders Expo, New York. I'm joined with Ruggiero Jr., who was one of the original systems designers back when, basically when the personal computer allowed people to build technical trading systems.
Right. I've actually been involved in developing systems back to 1990 when I was doing it in Excel, prior to TradeStation even existing.
And you were working with Larry Williams at one of the first.
Right. In the mid-90s, I did research for Larry and built trading systems for Larry. You know, one of the things about building trading systems that people don't realize, people worry like they should about things like curve fitting and trying to over-optimize their system. But one of the keys in system development is, what is the premise of your system? And based on what the premise is, that tells you how robust the system should be. One of the classic examples is I actually did some research with report days. And what we found with the report days is you wanted to counter trend the moves prior to the reports. And when I first built this technology, which was really cool about it, it worked great. And I ended up asking Larry what he thought of it. And he goes, well, look at the volume prior to the report being released. If the volumes are higher, your theory is correct. If the volumes are lower prior to the report, then you're wrong. And of course, the volumes were higher. But that's what we mean by a premise. When you build a system, you have to understand why it works. And if you can't come up with a good reason why it works, odds are it won't hold up into the future.
And often some of these systems are simple. Is it best to start out with a simple concept and then kind of build step at a time?
Yes, because you want to come up with a premise that you're building your system on. So for example, that gold mining stocks predict gold. That would be an example of an intermarket system.
Okay.
So you start with that premise and use the intermarket relationships there to build the core of your system, and then you'd add things on top of it like stops and filters.
Yeah, and those additions, I think Bill Eckhart refers to those as degrees of freedom,
right.
And you don't want to have too many degrees of freedom.
Right. Well, here's one thing that's really important. Is the only thing I know that's close to a holy grail is to trade multiple systems that are not correlated. For example, even their intermarket systems, they use a different intermarket. The more systems you can trade of things that are uncorrelated, multiple markets and multiple types of strategies, that's the best way to have things hold up in the future, is to trade a basket of systems.
Yes, and we've been talking for years at Traders Expos and in other places, the importance of diversification, because the markets, whatever's going on, are going to change, as we know now.
But one of the things that people normally system developers can't do, which is one of my strong points, is they can't build systems using different methodology for building systems. They can't do intermarket and cycles and then trend following. They can't do all of them. So that's one of my strong suits, is I can build systems that the technology of the system is diverse.
And the technology really has been growing.
Right, and it's also one of the reasons I built Trader Studio, because I can develop money management rules and combine multiple systems inside of Trader Studio and do back testing of money management strategies.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us. This has been Dan Collins with Ruggiero at the Traders Expo, New York.